You have cactus all over you, and
yes.
You're wearing cactus. What's that name?
After I got hit by that cactus, and everybody was community. The community came together. And they're all plucking out those thorns. And once they were done, I was just all red. And they're, Dad, Cactus Eddie, you're Cactus Eddie now.
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel with Artisans of Nations, a storytelling platform dedicated to honoring Indigenous arts and culture. I am so excited to be here in the heart of Santa Fe Indian Market during Sovereign Santa Fe in La Fonda on the plaza, and we are surrounded by history, art, and culture. And it's an absolute honor to welcome our next guest of our video podcast series. He is a gallery manager and community builder. Please welcome with me, Cactus Eddie.
Hello, Vai, Makawam, everybody.
Hey, well, I'd like us to begin by having you tell us a little bit of your story and where are you from and what has inspired the work that you do.
Sure. Well, I come from when the sun meets the land. Hey. Actually, I'm from Isleta Pueblo. My family roots go back to Santo Domingo, Pueblo, Kiwa, Sanai. My grandfather, Sanai, Santa Clara. My great-grandfather was from SD. My maternal side, they're all Isleta. And my dad is from Isleta. So we kind of encompass the southern and central regions of New Mexico with our people. And I do come from a long line of artists, of native artists. All my Sanai family, they're potters. One of our uncles, we call him Uncle Juicy. He's a potter, a famous potter back in his time. He had unfortunately passed away in the early 2000s, Juan Tafoya. But he would have been here. He'd have been doing the rounds. He would have been getting those blue ribbons. Wow. Teaching the youngsters how to get them, how to do it. And so my Isleta side, more musicians. My dad's side, they had bands and played in music, and the rowdy side.
Oh,
hey,
fun. Okay.
That's where I got my rowdiness from. So yeah, my whole life has just been surrounded by art and being creative. And my mom herself, we used to own her little business side hustle of making our Pueblo bread and cookies and pies. And she would go all over the state, Belen and up to here to Santa Fe, and they would build hornos for those of you, we call them hornas in Isleta, the outside ovens. But they would build some in their places and have her go and bake for them, and I'd be the one selling all the goods. Wow. So from early on, I've just been surrounded by a lot of creatives, a lot of people, and just kind of around all of that stuff. So being here and doing all these things is just natural to me at this point. It's, the back of your hand.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, to have such a rich family line and family history of art and culture. And how has that shaped you personally with what you do?
Well, I mean, again, just knowing that that's what my life was growing up. And so there's no other way. There's no other way of being or of going about your life. You try and do other things like, oh man, I've already done this, I've already done that. Art has already been a part of my life since the beginning. Let me try and do something else. But you always go back to it. I tried to do other things aside from art, like job-wise, let's say, but it always leads me back. Here, I work at the Museum of Contemporary Native Arts at their store, and I manage the Lloyd Kivanu Gallery. And that wasn't in my trajectory at all for my life. But like I said, it just leads you back to it. And I think that's kind of what, as natives, our ancestors have our planned out for us, what we want to do and what they want us to do and what we're good at. And even if you try and stray away from it, they always have a way of guiding you back to what your true passion and what your true lives are. And so, being that, trying to stay away from it, but it'll always come back to you, no matter what your path is. So for me, it's art, and being surrounded by so many artists growing up and in the communities and working in Santa Fe now and knowing a few artists here in the audience as well, being connected with them, you're just always connected.
For any of us that we find where our life takes us on our journeys, and there is always that one thing that always just kind of sticks around. Yeah, and you mentioned something about passion. And what does that look like for you in terms of community building? Because I know that, that's something that we connected on as well. So tell us, why are you so passionate about community building?
It goes back to our Pueblo roots, not even just the Pueblo, but indigeneity in general. We're all about community. We were from the beginning, and we will be for time come. And so it's just really important that we stick together, not just within our own community, but building communities to stick together. There's a lot of times that people feel displaced, not just in the Indigenous community, but in any community. People feel left out, or they don't feel like they belong somewhere. So kind of guiding people to come and enjoy each other's company, each other's time, each other's space. It's just kind of always been like that. And my grandma, she's very traditional. My whole family, we're all traditional. But my grandma's very set in our old Puebloan ways of, you got to help each other out no matter who you are, where you come from. Our ovens at our house, at grandma's house, they were kind of known as the community ovens because the community would all come and use our ovens, and she would never turn anybody down no matter what. And graduations, dinners, traditional ceremonies, they would all ask to use our ovens, and she'd immediately say yes. And the whole community would come, family members and people who are not in our family, but from the community would come and help with the baking days. And it's a whole thing. To witness baking days on the Pueblo is such a phenomena because you're just surrounded by, again, so many family members, so many friends of the family who are there to help. And you got a group of people doing one thing and a group of people outside. I was part of the outside crew, the oven crew, and we'd light the fire, 6 a.m. and watch it burn. And then whoever else was inside, mostly the ladies would be inside working the dough and doing the all that stuff for the goods. And we'd be out there shoveling the coals from the oven, and that oven gets hot in there, and so you're just sweating and it's cold outside but you're hot, and just the laughter and the chatter and just all the whole community. It's an amazing thing. So the passion that I got for building community stems from witnessing that from growing up all the way to adulthood, and just hearing grandma tell us the importance of community. She has a lot of important stories and important words. Who can we go to in this community? Because everyone has specific roles in our community, right? And so to establish that and acknowledge that is also very important. There's a very cute story that we tell on the Pueblo about being yourself and being true to yourself that we tell. And it's one of my favorite stories of all time that I try and tell our nieces and nephews too. Are you able to share that with us, or it's a great. I'll do the abridged version. Okay. But it's basically about a woodpecker and a coyote, and they're living together. Everyone's living together in peace in the forest. And one day they cross paths and they greet each other, and the coyote invites the woodpeckers to dinner one night. So they agree, the woodpecker family agrees, and they go to the coyote's home, and they share a beautiful dinner together. And at the end of that dinner, the coyote father is really upset. He's really mad. And he tells his family, do you see what's going on? Do you see what those woodpeckers did? They're putting on a show. They're acting like they're better than us, because when they eat, their feathers flap, showing all their beautiful colors under their wings. And the coyote said, I can't believe they show off like that. So we'll show them. So the woodpeckers, of course, said, well, we want you to come to our home for dinner too. Since you invited us, we want to invite you. So the coyote father told his family, you know what, we'll show them. Since they want to act like that to us, we'll show them. So before the dinner at the woodpecker's house, the coyote father built a real big fire. And when the coals got hot enough, he told his family, put these under your arms, the hot coals, because they changed those colors, those yellow and red colors. And he said, when we're eating, flap your arms just like they were doing at our house to show them that we're just as good as them, if not better. So they went to the woodpecker's home for dinner and they ate. And while they were eating, they were sure flapping their arms. But those coals were getting hot and hot and hot as that air was getting on them. So they were getting burned. And the kids, the coyote kids said, oh, Tata. So you say dad in Isleta, Southern Tiwa. Tata, it hurts, it hurts. And he said, quit, cut it up, quit crying. Hurry up, flap those arms. They're burning. The mother, she was burning up too. And she was complaining. And so the woodpeckers and they all had dinner, and when it was done, they all said bye, and the coyotes went home, and the coyote father punished his whole kids, his whole family. He said, you embarrassed me. Don't ever embarrass me like that again, and punished all of them. Wow. And the woodpecker father, when they left, he said, do you see that? Do you see what happened here? He told his kids, don't ever pretend to be somebody you're not. Because you're going to get burned like that. Just be who you are. Stay true to your colors. Otherwise, you're going to get burned, just like the coyotes got burned. Wow.
Wow. That's so profound and insightful.
Speaking of community building, that's, we share these stories with each other. And through traditional times and non-traditional times, we'll sit around, like I said, during baking days, we'll share stories. Some are not very traditional stories. They're the real stories. But of community, but the elders will also share those kinds of stories too. And there's one actually really about community, about how you should be helping out about this little bird. And I'll tell that one too if you don't mind. It's a short little one.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
But it's one of my favorites as well. It's about a little bird, and this bird damaged its wings, so it couldn't fly no more. And so it was hopping along the forest, asking all the trees if it could eat and rest upon its branches and eat from its seeds. All the trees said no. These are our seeds. These are our branches. Go find something else. All the trees were doing that to this poor little bird. So this little bird was just wandering alone in the forest, sad, until it met the pine tree. And the mighty pine said, Friend bird, how come you're sad? How come you're walking around like this, moping? And he said, I hurt my wing. My wing was injured, and I can't fly, and I'm just looking for a place to rest. And he said, all the trees in the forest told me to go on, to that it's their seeds, it's their branches. They don't want to share. And the mighty pine got real mad, and he said, what shame, these trees. Uria, so he said in Isleta, Uria tateta, like how dare they? And so what the pine tree said was, you can rest on my branches and you can eat from my seeds. You can eat the seeds, and you can rest as long as you need. And so it did. The bird rested in the pine tree, and it healed up, and it was about ready to fly away. And he said to the pine tree, before I go, I'm going to ask our great spirits to bless you, since you helped me so much. When everyone turned me away, you helped me. He said, so I'm going to ask of the great spirits to make sure that you stay green year-round and that you are beautiful year-round, because just as you are on the outside, you are beautiful too in the inside. And so they say that's why the pine trees stay green year-round, because they're just as beautiful on the inside as they are on the outside. And that's why they give off that welcoming aroma, that warmth, because that's who they are naturally. And that's a great story we tell, and to kind of say this is why community is important, because that bird is so helpful to all the trees, to the ecosystem, and that for these trees to deny him was, wrong. And so that's why the pine trees are very important.
Yeah, that is such a great story as well, Eddie. Really honored to have you share them from your community in Isleta. And I think, hearing your heart is always about others, but it first starts with ourselves, and like you said, being true to who we are. And I think that is so important for any of us, no matter our backgrounds or where we come from, or our ethnicities and races. And so I think this is such a valuable point that you are passionate about, as you mentioned. One fun question before I open it up for some audience Q&A. You have cactus all over you, you're wearing cactus. What inspired Cactus Eddie? What's that name?
So I like to tell people that I got into a fight with a family of cacti, and the cacti lost, naturally. But really what happened was I was, years and years ago, I went on a 1 a.m. hike in the foothills out in Albuquerque. And you can't see nothing, it's all dark. And there's cacti everywhere. And I made it up to this big rock, and we overlooked the city. Beautiful, beautiful time of reflection. And when I was coming down, my phone had died, which was my lamp, my flashlight. And so I just had to walk blindly. It was a couple people there. Nobody's phones they all died. And so we were blindly kind of following each other down the hill. And out of nowhere, this cacti came out of nowhere. And I fell right into it, into a huge cacti. I fell into it and just... cacti needles all over me. And I was the oldest one at the time of the group of my coworkers. I was with some old coworkers, and they were laughing because I was huffing and puffing. And, old man Eddie. We say it instead of huli. But after I got hit by that cactus, and everybody was community. The community came together. And they're all plucking out those thorns. And once they were done, I was just all red. They're, Dad, Cactus Eddie, you're Cactus Eddie now. And from there, it just stuck.
Wow.
And so for almost 10 years, I've been going by Cactus Eddie now, because they were teasing me because I fell into that cactus bush.
Wow. Such a fun story. Yeah, it stuck literally.
It literally stuck.
Literally and poetically. Eddie also, he is the gallery manager at the Lloyd Kiva New Gallery at the Museum of Contemporary Native Art here in downtown. Learn more about Indigenous art, stories, and culture in our newest coffee table book titled The Land Between Us. Get a special 10% off with code PODCAST at artisansofnations.com/volume 2. We partnered during this summer for a summer exhibition called The Land Between Us, and we did some public programming as well, and all thanks to Eddie for his support with Artisans of Nations and our other community partners.
This show that we did together really was community focused, because not only were we doing the show, which is a collaborative of all these Indigenous artists, but the programming itself. We did 4 different programs throughout the summertime, and it really, really did bring in a bunch of community members. Every single event that we did was huge crowd, very successful moment, and it was a really cool thing to see people from different walks of life coming in to bear witness to either the weavings we did, the food, the pottery demonstrations, whatever it was, the community came out and they really did support. So it was a really cool thing to see. Our little gallery, because our gallery is on no maps. We're not on anything. We don't even get, we're just, we're kind of an underground gallery at this point. But to see so many people come to our little gallery, the Lloyd Kiva New Gallery, was really, really cool. And it really speaks volumes about community buildup and how people really do want to see not only the Indigenous community rise up, but just the artistic community here in Santa Fe rise up.
What an amazing experience it was for the artists as well. Absolutely. And so thank you for all that you do, Eddie, here in Santa Fe, and I know also in Albuquerque, and where you come from in Isleta. And it's been an honor to have you share stories with us, and a little sneak peek into your life too. You do amazing work in the community. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us here at Santa Fe Indian Market with Sovereign for Artisans of Nations podcast series. We're so grateful and honored to have each of our guests with us for 2 days. It's been an amazing lineup. wonderful stories, voices, culture, and arts were shared, and it's been an honor. We can't do this without our supporters and community partners, especially to the City of Santa Fe, Office of Economic Development, and the City of Santa Fe Arts and Culture. We are ever so grateful for you and your partnership and all that you do in the City of Santa Fe. With all of that said, please follow us at Artisans of Nations on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, as well as major social media platforms. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting the artists and Indigenous culture. Till next time, keep sharing, keep creating, and keep listening as well. Many blessings and peace.